A lovely good day to you this morning. This is Nick and Knarf, two brothers in Tucson, bringing you music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond. Today, we're bringing some iconic music from the English rock and blues band Yardbirds. The Yardbirds, who were formed in 1963 in London, England, were comprised of lead vocalist Keith Relf, lead guitarist Anthony Topham, rhythm guitarist Chris Gr8t, bassist Paul Samuel Smith, and drummer Jim McCarthy. In October of that year, Topham was replaced by Eric Clapton. Crazy. He remained until March of 65, and then he left due to contractual agreements. Clapton recommended Jimmy Page to replace him, but he declined, and Jeff Beck took over.
Gee, only Jeff Beck. That's like a step down, isn't it? No,
so those three, Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck, and who's the last one?
Jimmy Page.
Eric Clapton are called three of the top 5 greatest lead guitarists of all time.
Absolutely.
Not sure that fits my number, but I'd say 3 of the top 10, that's for sure.
Oh, they're great.
Isn't that crazy?
Incredible. They had an amazing run. What other band, maybe other than Buffalo Springfield, had the kind of incredible talent all packed into one band? But the thing was, it always morphed.
The Beatles.
I mean, there might be some, the Beatles. Yeah.
The Eagles.
Yeah, I guess there are. But I mean, really, talk about real super legends at the start of rock and roll.
With Michael McDonald doing both.
All right, we could go down the list. But the point is, these are some of the most...
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so the first incarnation was with Eric Clapton, who was with them from 63 to 65. And he really left the band also because he didn't like the direction they were going in. They were going more into psychedelic pop rock, and Clapton, being the big blues lover that he is, wanted to do the blues. And so he didn't really like the pop thing. But then the bulk of the main core of the Yardbirds' big years from 65 and 66 was with Jeff Beck. Many of their great songs came with Jeff Beck. And then Jimmy Page joined them again for the final couple of years of their incarnation from 66 to 68. So they didn't lose a beat. And what we're going to do today is we're going to have a representation of the Yardbirds, a song from each of the eras, just to give you an idea. And we're going to do one song. We're going to try and cram 4 songs in here, okay? I hope we don't have any issues. That's me. I just love their stuff so much.
I don't blame them.
But we're going to do a song from the Clapton years, which was where Eric Clapton is playing the guitar, and it's his final song with them that he ended up playing with and then leaving on his own. It is For Your Love, which came out in March of 1965. Then we're going to jump to Jeff Beck and the song that he really made famous with his unique style, which is Over, Under, Sideways, Down, which was released in May of 1966. Then what we want to do is we want to bring you the song where both Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page play together on the song. And I didn't know that they had played together till I looked some of this stuff up. It's both of them doing lead guitars back and forth with each other.
Nice.
And it's Happenings 10 years time ago. That big hit from 1966. And then finally what I want to do is I'm bringing in this album called Live Yardbird featuring Jimmy Page. It was a concert recorded in 1968 in New York City. There were a lot of problems with this album. Apparently, it wasn't released till 71, and Epic Records decided to release it on the heels of the success of Led Zeppelin. And the band didn't really want to release. And Jimmy Page took them to court and stopped the release of the album until like 7-8 years later, when they tried it again, and Jimmy Page tried to block it again. And then they still released it a little bit. Then they took it off again. And then I find that Jimmy Page in 2017 took these master tapes from this concert, remastered it, and reissued the album as Yardbirds 68. But it's basically the same album. So this one came out before. It's called Live. It's just incredible to hear Jimmy Page playing the lead guitar and his stuff, the raw power. He even does a couple of songs that became Led Zeppelin songs. One is Dazed and Confused, they did here, which was a Led Zeppelin, actually a remake of someone else's song. And then there's another song called Summer Rain, I believe it's called, where the beginning is a song by Led Zeppelin. It's the beginning of Over the Hills and Far Away from Led Zeppelin. So he was using his experience with the Yardbirds to start planning music and numbers that he could carry over. And even John Paul Jones and John Bonham joined the Yardbirds for a little while.
They were playing. That's what I was going to say. I mean, can you imagine all that talent in one room?
Wow.
That's like, the 27 Yankees, But sometimes,
It's a murderer's row.
egos get a little crazy. Like, for example, Frank and I are big baseball fans. Last year, the Dodgers had not one, not two, not three, 4 MVPs, former MVPs on their team. Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Bellinger, and then Kershaw. And they won a ton of games, right? They play in the first round of the playoffs, they get knocked off. So what happens? You can amass as much talent as you can, but if the egos don't get together, man, it's as talented as these guys were, they just couldn't continue together.
Yeah, too much great talent. Too many people
When
wanted to
did
go
you say
solo.
they were put into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
1992, they were put in the Rock and
92.
Roll Hall of Fame, and they are listed as number 89 on Rolling Stone's greatest artists of all time. So these are formidable performers with a great legacy. And also, one little piece of trivia: when we get to the Jeff Beck period, the Yardbirds are actually featured at the end of the movie Blow Up, the 1966 film Blow Up, directed by Michelangelo Antonioni, where there's a scene where the main character, David Hemmings, goes into downtown London and he's searching for Vanessa Redgrave, the character Vanessa Redgrave, and he goes into a club and the Yardbirds are there playing. As you can see, Jeff Beck and everybody. So that's a little piece of trivia. They're actually in that. So if you get a chance to see the movie Blow Up,
and if you guys really think about the different bands here, I mean, obviously Clapton went on and Cream, and then Page, Led Zeppelin. And then you got Jeff Beck. He played with a guy I knew, Tim Bogart. Beck Bogart in a piece. He played with Rod Stewart. He played, who else did he play
all
with?
Kinds of people. Just
where did he go after?
Oh, he went solo mostly, but he did a lot of, cooperative stuff too.
How people's lives intersect and how musical talent just draws people together. And I mean, it's just crazy. The talent in this group is sick.
They are sick, and it's great songs. But anyway, we're going to get into it. So before we do, though, we'd like to invite you, as always, if you haven't, please be sure to subscribe. Hit the like icon for us. Share it. Tell your friends about us. We care for your ears. And also, all of you who have subscribed, we thank you so much. But today, we're going to get into the great Yardbirds here with our first one from the Eric Clapton era. And this one is For Your Love. As soon as I can locate this baby, where are we? It's all over the place here. Okay, here we go. This is the Yardbirds featuring Eric Clapton and For Your Love.
For your love, for your love, for your love, I'd give you everything and more, and that's for sure. For your love, I'd bring you diamond rings and things right to your door. For your love, to thrill you with delight, I'd give you diamonds bright. There'll be days that will excite and make you dream of me at night.
Yeah, I think you did. Like the harpsichord did too. Isn't it interesting, the instruments?
For your love, for your love, for your love, I'd give the moon if it were mine to give. For your love, I'd give the stars and the sun before I live. For your love, to thrill you with delight, I'd give you diamonds bright. There'll be days that will excite, make you dream of me at night. For your love, for your love,
I mean, not a crazy, complicated musical song, but catchy.
Really popular, too. It was one of their bigger hits in the United States and in England. But
so this was 65?
This was 1965. That's right. So it was one of their first bigger hits. But this was with Clapton, then Clapton left. Now, what'd you guys think of that? Let us know. Leave your comments. If you have any comments about anything, please leave them in the comments section. We'd love to get back to you.
He must have been about 18.
He was young, that's for sure.
Wow.
They were all pretty young. But anyway, now let's move into the Jeff Beck era, which went, again, from 65 to 1966. And this is one of the most distinctive Yardbirds song, especially from the perspective that Jeff Beck came up with this lead for this song, and it's become iconic.
Yep.
And it almost sounds like he plays it with a fiddle, but it's just this incredible fingering style of Jeff Beck. Anyway, this one is called Over, Under, Sideways, Down. Here we go.
Hey! Hey!
Love that bass.
Hey! Hey! Cars and girls are easy come by in this day and age. Laughing, joking, drinking, smoking till I spent my ways. When I was young, people spoke of immorality. All the things they said were wrong are what I want to be. Hey! Under, sideways, down. Hey! Forward, square, and round. Hey! Under, sideways, down. Hey! Forward, square, and round. When will it end? When will
This is psychedelic. Really psychedelic.
Definitely.
Hey! Hey!
Love that bass, right?
Hey! Hey! I find comment about my looks irrelativity. Think I'll go and have some fun, 'cause it's all for free. I'm not searching for a reason to enjoy myself. Seems it's better done than argue with somebody else. Hey! Under, sideways, down. Backwards, forward, square, and round. Over, under, sideways, down. Backwards, forward, square, and round. When will it end? When will it end? Hey! 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 Under, sideways, down. Backwards, forward, square, and round. Over, under, sideways, down. Backwards, forward, square, and round. Over, under, sideways, round. Backwards, forward, square, and round. Over, under, sideways, down. Backwards, forward, square, and round.
Yeah, that song cranks.
You know, it sounds like a stand-up bass, but I'm not sure it is. What
I
do you
don't think so. I think it was just a regular old bass, but they changed the tone quality of it. Does sound like a stand-up. You're
Yeah,
right.
you know.
But what a really different song. You got to admit, that's a really, a unique sounding song in that. And it's all made possible because of Jeff Beck and his unique guitar style that gives it that hypnotic, psychotic, psychedelic sound. But just terrific. A lot of the great hits, great hits came around during this Jeff Beck era. There are these sub-releases from their regular albums. They had like 8 albums under the Yardbirds banner. These are like compilations afterwards. The Eric Clapton, the Yardbird years, Jeff Beck years, and then these other ones. But great stuff. What did you think? Let us know. Now, here's one where we get the hybridization of the transference of 2 of the members of the group. This one song features both Jeff Beck before he leaves and Jimmy Page, who comes to join him for the next year and a half or 2 years before he leaves to form Led Zeppelin. And they both play guitar on this song. So I don't know how you can distinguish which one is which.
But I got to ask a question. Where do you rate Page versus Clapton versus Beck?
Wow.
I've got Page 1, Clapton 2, Beck 3.
Everybody probably says Clapton is above all of them because
Above
of his
Page?
Above both of them. He's considered the number 2 guitarist, I think, on behind Jimi Hendrix on the Rolling Stone Top 100 guitarists, I think.
Really?
But this song though was really a big hit for them too. But listen to those 2 guitars guitars and see if you can figure out which one is Jeff Beck and him. But this is from 1966, Happenings 10 years time ago.
Not too many people know this song.
Meeting people along my way, seemingly I know one day, familiarity of things that my dreaming always brings. Happenings 10 years time ago, situations we really know, but the knowing is in the mind, sinking deep into the well of time, sinking deep into the well of time. Walking in a room I see things that mean a lot to me. Why they do I never know. Memories don't strike me so. Memories don't strike me so.
Now, when these leads come in, it's pretty hard to tell.
It seems to me I've been here before. The sounds I heard and the sights I saw. Was it real? Was it in my dreams? I need to know what it all means.
Dig this trippy lead combo here.
What group are you? Bring your back to money. Why you got away along here? What you doing the traffic, are you? But it's not here on the place when you live there.
Happenings 10 years time ago, situations we really know, but the knowing is in the mind, sinking deep into the well of time, sinking deep into the well of time.
Now, I'll be honest with you, this is my favorite of the three referred, you know.
Really has.
They really like changing up the pause. They really like doing that a lot.
Oh yeah, they were experimenting because these guitarists were really driven by a lot of blues and jazz and stuff, and you're starting to see them experimenting with this stuff. This is a lot, you know. This reminds me a lot of Nick the Birds when they did like 8 Miles High, kind of that experimental guitar work they're playing with backward tracking and
But when
inside
he
out
came in
stuff.
with the vocals, kind of reminded me of Moody Blues a little bit.
Yeah, he does have a
At the
similar
beginning.
voice to Justin Hayward a little
Justin
bit.
Hayward,
Keith
yeah.
Relf, a little bit more like that. But what great guitar work and what a catchy, memorable song this
I wish
is.
the
you know?
mix would have been a little bit better. I'm not so sure that this album was produced as well as it could have been, but man, oh man. And the drummer could have gone a little crazier in my opinion, but you know, that's okay.
This is pretty damn psychedelic for 1966. It was
sure
really
was.
the start of it, but a great tune. What did you
That
guys
is a
think
great song.
of Happenings 10 years time ago? Now, finally, this is when Eric Clapton, keep mixing these names up, Jimmy Page, was entrenched now as the lead guitarist, and they were performing a lot. In fact, they even toured with the Rolling Stones. They did a lot of touring at the time. Page even brought in John Bonham and John Paul Jones to sit in on some stuff with them. So you could see that the seeds of the formation of Led Zeppelin was all being experimented with right here, all during this time. But anyway, this album, Live Yardbirds, from this concert in 1968, is from New York City. One of the things they objected to was that the record company put a lot of extra people sounds in there because they said the quality of the recording was really not very good. They apparently had one microphone over the drum, just hanging over it to record the drums.
Wow.
So it was hardly remastered very well. They took some sounds from other events and meshed it, and that was one of the things the bands objected to with this album. But when you listen to it now, it still sounds awesome. And here you go, we got the song, one of their earlier hits that Jimmy Page plays, and Keith Relf introduces Jimmy and talks about he calls them magic fingers here. But they do this great classic song that originally Jimmy Page is not on the recording, but he plays it at this concert performance. So here it is, the Yardbirds featuring Jimmy Page doing Shapes of Things.
I'm going to give you a song that we made a record of. Most people thought that we could never, ever recreate the solo part on stage. Well, we have a very good try, at least. Jimmy Magic Fingers, the grand sorcerer of the magic guitar. Shapes of Things. Shapes, things before my eyes, just reach me into the spies. We'll try and make them out more wise.
We did this in the band too.
We're down on that lonely frame. My eyes just hurt my brain. But will it seem the same? Country mama, may I be older. Country mama, maybe a soldier. Country mama, may I be bolder than today. Now the trees are almost green, but will they still be seen where time and tide have been? Rolling through your passion hand, based on this silent land, they'll make them desert sand. Country mama, may I be older. Country mama, maybe a soldier. Country mama, may I be bolder than today. Soon, I hope that I will find thoughts deep within my mind that won't distress my kind.
What year is this? 1968. Talk about heavy guitar work, beautiful, tasty, raw, and powerful in the tradition of the great Jimmy Page, man. But this concert was, like I said, this album wasn't out. It didn't come out. They tried releasing it, kept being challenged. So it took a long time to get this album out and available to people, but it's a tremendous musical document of the Yardbirds. They really sound great in concert, you know? But
they write some pretty weird songs. I mean, they're good, but they're weird.
Yeah, they have some of their later stuff is really experimental, kind of off the wall. With that one of their last albums called Roger the Engineer. There's a lot of weird stuff on that one too. But memorable Hall of Famers put in there early in the Hall of Fame history.
So much talent,
so many great guitars. What did you think of our showcase today? The great, amazing Yardbirds with a run of 8 albums over a short 5-year, 6-year period, but tremendous legacy of music.
Did any of you see them together? How many of you saw Page with Led Zeppelin? How many of you saw
Beck by himself, or Clapton with Cream,
or by himself?
Yeah.
I mean, We're talking icons. I mean, these guys are like
They're legends. They're just legends.
I mean, this is Kareem and you know, Jordan and Magic. I mean, this is the top of the pole.
Absolutely, the cream of the crop. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed our tribute. Again, before we let you go, please want to invite you, if you haven't, please subscribe, like, and share. If you liked what you heard, hit that icon. It lets other people, helps the algorithm spread our promotion of the video a little bit more. And all of you subscribers who are already there, we love you so much. We thank you for joining us today for another great episode of Nick Knarf. Hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
This is 55 to almost 60 years ago, folks. Spooky.
But the quality and the caliber of the rock seems timeless, especially that live stuff. I mean, even the earlier stuff. It's so unique and so ahead of its time. It really stands out. So salute to the Yardbirds.
Good
Thank
memories.
you for
Good
the great
memories. And signing off, guys. We love you all.
Nick Knarf saying ciao for now. Peace out, Bumbini. Bye-bye.